Hello, my name is Chuck and I'm an artist. So, first things first, I'm wearing shades because I didn't really get that much sleep last night, so my eyes look terrible. Anyway, I wanted to create this video to, say hi and introduce myself and I guess tell you a bit about who I am and what I'm about, in case you care. So, oh yeah, just heads up, if you do hear any background noises, especially my neighbor's dog, please pardon me. Gets a little cranky around these times, so yeah, don't take it personally. Anyway, my journey into visual art was very interesting. You see, I've always treated art as something that I would do later on in life after I had, become successful or achieve the goals I wanted to achieve. I've always treated art as something that I have to earn versus something that I live and breathe. I am a writer as well as a painter and a dancer as well. My relationship with writing has been very similar, I guess, with dancing, whereas it's something I do casually for fun here and there. But I never really dedicate enough time to really push that forward. But this year I'm turning 30, this month actually, and I've made the conscious decision to make my 30s about my art, and that's why we're here today. So essentially, I come from an agency background, and actually still run an agency that specializes with essentially helping clients with things like marketing and sales. And the agency had been doing well for a few years, but it started to decline actually. And what I realized is that in the modern day, if you want to run a successful agency, you have to have a personal brand, and the best platform for that is YouTube. And that forced me to stop and think, right? Like, if I'm going to be on YouTube creating content, do I really want to be creating content about sales, marketing, and Asian stuff? As much as I enjoy it and it puts food on the table, I am an artist at heart. I am a writer first and everything else afterwards. And I'm still learning how to paint, and I love dance, but obviously I've never done it professionally. But when it comes to writing has always been my first love. And the original goal was for me to focus on creating a YouTube channel that's going to help me do art full time so I can finish my novel. But as fate would have it, my little sister, I have two little sisters, and my little sister, who's in varsity right now, had these acrylic paints that were sitting around in her room, and she wanted to clear some space. So I just recommended that she, give them to me, essentially. And, so she did. And I decided to just give it a go and try a quick portrait. So I hope you don't mind the noise of the plane, by the way. So I decided to give it a try and try a quick portrait, and it turned out really, really well. Much more better than I expected. It turned out a lot more better than I expected, and I guess it led me down this rabbit hole. So it's not a masterpiece or anything like that. It is my first painting ever, of course. But I really like it. There's a lot of imperfections on there. It's you can tell it's clearly an amateur. There's like no blending whatsoever. The values are off here and there. There's a lot of things that I did wrong. But I like that it's my first painting. So once I started doing some research on basically how I wanted to get my paintings to look, that basically led me down painting with oils. So I'm sure you noticed that I essentially paint nude. I absolutely love studying and depicting the female form. But one thing I've realized is, I really like all forms of art. I like digital art, visual art, abstract, it's essentially portraits and all that good stuff, and even sculptures. But my favorite type of art is definitely erotic art. Even when it comes to photography, usually I lean more towards erotic photography. And what I've really picked up is, as much as there are artists, who do capture the female form with African women, with melanated beings, I've been seeing that in terms of, the amount of art out there that portrays, Caucasian people of Caucasian descent, versus the amount of art out there, even photography that portrays people of African descent, there's still a huge gap, right? There's a lot more nude photography and nude art of white people, and it gets much more worse when it's nude art in the Renaissance style. So I love Renaissance art paintings from all the masters: Michelangelo, Picasso, Caravaggio. I absolutely love them. Van Gogh, of course. Who doesn't love Van Gogh? And what I realized is, every time I look at a piece, by these incredible Renaissance era artists, I love the art, but it's always, people of Caucasian descent. And of course it is, right? These are, artists who were in Italy, in Florence. I forget the century. I think, was it the 18th century? I forget the exact period. But of course, during this time, there weren't a lot of people of color, or at least according to my knowledge. I haven't actually looked this up, but according to my knowledge, there weren't a lot of people of color at the time, in Europe, or, particularly in Florence. So I really wanted to create art that captures melanated beings, particularly African women, but painting it in a Renaissance style. And so far, I'm learning, and I'm taking my time with it. I started off by learning how to paint in burnt umber, and that's really the process I'm in right now. And honestly, the first time I tried painting with color, I got my ass kicked because I essentially mixed the skin tones incorrectly. So it was terrible. It was terrible. I'm literally going to be setting that painting on fire, probably later tonight, or throughout the weekend. So yeah, right now I'm giving myself time to learn and giving myself grace to make mistakes, because it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to learn. I think we, because of things like social media and Instagram, I don't know, I feel like it's not cool. It's, learning and trying stopped being cool, right? Everyone just wants to just get to the end result now. I feel like delayed gratification is, I don't know, it's beginning to feel like a myth, right? Because everything is so instant now, right? With AI, with technology, with everything, with fucking first day delivery, right? Things like that. It's getting crazy. But I think we need to make, failing cool again. I think we need to make learning and making mistakes cool again. I'm a very blue collar type of guy in terms of how I like to learn. Like, I love theory. Like, when I'm passionate about something, I can talk about the theoretical aspects of it, for hours. But at the end of the day, I learn best by making mistakes and learning from them. So that's the approach I'm taking right now, and by trying to paint as much as I can. And just trying to balance that while, working 8 hours a day on the agency. I still have clients who I need to, stay truthful to. But of course, the goal is to get to a point where I am doing art full time. So yeah, I'm just wanted to create this video, introduce myself, and yeah, I guess help you get to know why this channel exists, and I guess what you can expect from the future. Yeah, what you can expect from the future. As I said, I'm really passionate about capturing the female form and really the melanated women in the Renaissance era style. So yeah, I'm going to be learning that. I'm going to be making tons of mistakes, but that's okay. Making mistakes is cool. And we'll see how it goes. So yeah, if you're interested in basically sticking along for that journey, or really just helping me, I guess, get to a point where I do get to do art full time, I would appreciate you engaging with this video, leaving a comment, and of course subscribing for more future content. So yeah, thank you for your time, and we'll speak again soon. Take care.